Herzlich willkommen und ein fröhliches Hallo von eurem Heringway. Wir spielen Virtue's Last Reward weiter. Beim letzten Mal haben wir zum wiederholten Mal das Ambidex-Spiel gegen Teil gestartet. Wir haben herausgefunden, was bei der Route passiert, wenn wir sie tatsächlich betrügen. Und wir haben herausgefunden, dass es bei ihr nicht sonderlich gut ankommt. Und wir haben herausgefunden, dass sie diesen Groll dann quasi gesehen in eine andere Route mitnimmt. Nämlich in die Route, in der wir einfach mal Ally wählen. Was ein bisschen, naja, komisch ist. Okay, ich hatte ja beim letzten Mal aber auch schon das Gedankenspiel in den Raum geworfen, dass all diese Routen, die wir im Endeffekt kennen, dass es ja nicht die einzigen Routen sein müssen. Oder im Endeffekt eigentlich auch sein können. Weil es müsste dann ja quasi gesehen eigentlich auch so eine Route geben, in der sowohl Phi als auch Sigma Betray wählen. Und genauso müsste es eigentlich auch eine Route geben, in der sowohl Phi als auch Sigma Ally wählen. Und da läuft die ganze Geschichte dann nochmal ein bisschen anders ab. Je nachdem halt. Naja, muss es für den Moment aber vielleicht gar nicht so sehr interessieren, denn entscheidend ausschlaggebend ist jetzt ja nochmal die Route, in der wir uns hier befinden. Und glücklicherweise haben wir ja mit ein paar Lateinkenntnissen, hust, Phi mehr oder weniger davon überzeugen können, dass es eine tolle Idee wäre, wenn sie doch einfach mal hier bleiben würde. Und dementsprechend hat sie trotz ihrer neuen BP die Nummer 9 Tür nicht geöffnet. Gleichzeitig haben wir den anderen jetzt davon erzählt, dass wir mittlerweile schon eine zweite Bombe gefunden haben, nämlich im Garten. Und ja, jetzt sind wir mit Kay, Clover und Luna zusammen eigentlich auf der Suche nach einer eventuellen dritten Bombe, die sich ja irgendwo hier befinden sollte. Im Endeffekt wissen wir als Spieler ja auch schon, wo die andere Bombe ist. Das zum einen. Und zum anderen, also ich persönlich bin ja jetzt am meisten gespannt so ein bisschen auf die Reaktion von Dio. Wenn jetzt alle mehr oder weniger so systematisch nochmal versuchen, die Bomben zu suchen, und Dio dürfte ja sowieso angepisst sein, dadurch, dass er beim letzten Ambidex-Spiel so übel aufs Kreuz gelegt wurde. Man darf gespannt sein, wie sich das jetzt so weiterentwickelt. Für den Moment sind wir jetzt, glaube ich, erstmal mit Phi unterwegs. Wir sind runtergegangen zu Warehouse B und sehen hier, zumindest in diesem Durchgang, das allererste Mal die weißen Türen. So, these are the white doors that Kay and Clover were talking about. Yeah, there's the lock thing. No question. These are chromatic doors, I guess.
So it seems.
Bah! What? When did you... Ach so, sie kam. Wir hatten uns zuerst aufgeteilt. Okay, schön, aber sie ist ein bisschen anhänglich. Naja.
I've been here the whole time.
Seriously? I didn't notice you at all.
Oh, I guess your hearing's starting to go. How sad.
So, what do you want? Why are you stalking me?
I'm not stalking you. I just followed you here.
That's pretty much the same thing. But how did you do it? You were totally silent. Are you Batman?
I already told you I'm not. Remember? Back in the AB room when we met?
Yeah, actually... Ja, wir erinnern uns. You also jumped super high, all the way up to the ceiling.
Right. Aren't you curious about that graffiti?
Graffiti? Wie sie auch einfach mal spontan vom Thema ablenkt. Dabei wäre es jetzt so langsam aber sicher tatsächlich mal relativ interessant zu erfahren, warum sie so verdammt hoch springen kann. Oh yeah, that. Memento mori, if the ninth line ate the sun. Did a kid write that or what?
Why do you say that?
Well, they managed to spell ninth wrong. Who puts an E in there?
You're right.
Then again, maybe it means something.
Do you know what it means? The Latin part.
Hey, now give me a little credit. Even I know what memento mori means. You see it all over the place. As far as I know, it translates to something like be aware of death or remember your mortality. Never forget that we all die someday. I guess it's a sort of cautionary thing?
What about the other part?
It's exactly what it says on the tin, right? Some sort of conditional about lions and sons. Anything come to mind?
No, nothing. Nothing at all. What about you?
Me? Huh. Well, let's see. Memento mori, if the ninth line ate the sun. Memento mori, if the ninth line ate the sun. I repeated the words over and over in my head, but nothing. Whatever they meant, it was beyond me. But perhaps phi. Latin.
Huh?
Don't you know Latin? Maybe you can figure more of it out.
Well, I know a little. More than most people, I guess, but I'm not an expert.
Then how do you know that phrase? Elapsum semel occasionam non ipse potest Jupiter reprehendere.
Oh, that. That's from, this.
She unpinned the brooch from her chest as she spoke and held it out to me. I hesitated for a moment, then took it.
Look at the back.
I turned it over. Elapsum semel occasionam non ipse potest Jupiter reprehendere. So I guess the I is pronounced like a J in Latin, huh?
Yeah.
What is this?
A memento of my late mother. Well, I guess it's something like a memento.
What does it mean?
She died right after I was born. I was raised by foster parents and they told me where the brooch had come from. Apparently it was the only thing my mother had left behind.
What about your father?
Don't have one. I guess you could say I was a bastard. I never saw his face, and I don't know his name. I don't even know if he's alive.
Oh. I couldn't think of anything else to say, so I just handed her back the brooch.
That phrase got to be almost like a prayer for me. Whenever I had to make a tough decision, I'd say it to myself. Sometimes I'd just repeat it over and over like a chant. Before long, I had it memorized. Got me interested in Latin, and I started studying the language. Elapsum semel occasionum non ipse potest Jupiter reprehendere. Not even Jupiter can find a lost opportunity. Sounds nice, doesn't it? But it seems kind of funny now. I mean, look at us. We've done what Jupiter can't. We can find our lost opportunities. That's why I followed you here. I thought it would be a good idea to talk to you about all this. Alone.
Yeah. I agree.
There's something else we need to do too, though.
Find the number 2 bomb.
Exactly. So we should get going. I'm pretty sure the bomb isn't in here. There's nowhere to hide it. So...
You're saying we should go somewhere else?
Yeah. Well, come on, don't just stand there. We need to get a move on.
Without waiting for a reply, she turned and started toward one of the exits. I followed. Tja, trotzdem ist das irgendwie mysteriös. An gewisse Dinge können sie sich erinnern, aus anderen Routen, und sie sind sich dessen ja jetzt zu dem Zeitpunkt vollkommen bewusst, dass sie mehr wissen als die anderen. Und dass sie etwas Besonderes sind oder so, wie auch immer. Aber es ist trotzdem nicht das gesamte Wissen da. Irgendwie klappt das nicht so richtig mit dem Wissen hier rübernehmen. The archives. Good place to hide a bomb. Now, where the hell do we start looking?
I doubt it really matters. If it's here, we'll find it eventually.
So, what about the Jupiter stuff?
We can talk while we look. Now get started.
I turned to a corner of the room and began to look while Fi spoke.
I'll start with a conclusion I've come to. Our consciousnesses seem to be able to jump through time. No, sorry. Through time isn't really accurate. It's more like we move through worlds.
Worlds?
Yes. I don't mean physical planets in this case. Talking about a whole different universe, really. Parallel worlds.
What?
Do you know about the many worlds interpretation?
Well, kind of. I think I've heard of it once or twice.
Oh well, I'll just explain it. Let's say... I don't care what it is, but could you move? Scratch your head, cross your arms, put your hands on your hips. Anything?
I had no idea what this was supposed to explain, but I did as she'd asked. Scratch head, cross arms, put hands on hips, applaud. Others. Okay, jetzt bin ich gespannt. Was ist denn bitte schön bei ihm Others? Cheer, blow a kiss, tap dance, moonwalk. Others? Blow a kiss wäre ja irgendwie... Es wäre... ja. Ich gucke erstmal. Ach so, okay, das ist alles, ja. Gut, alles klar. Ja, wollen wir... Moonwalk wäre natürlich auch super. Aber komm, jetzt gehen wir mal... wir gehen mal aufs Ganze oder so. Ja! Ja! Sigma, was machst du da? Go feelings. Touch her heart. She dodged them. That's cold.
You did something gross just now, didn't you?
Geht so, naja.
But you could have chosen to tap dance or moonwalk.
Tap dance? Moonwalk?
The details don't matter. I'm just talking about possibilities here. Now, maybe there are other Sigmas in other worlds who did all of those things. All of these worlds and realities are branching off from one another. The choices you could have made branched off from the moment you decided what you were going to do just now. Every moment you make a decision, another universe branches off, on and on into infinity. Each of those branches is an alternate world. A world where a version of you did something different. Haven't you ever thought about what life would have been like if you'd made different choices? What if you'd gone to this high school instead of that one? What if you hadn't started a study group? What if you hadn't told that girl you liked her? What if? What if? But are those what ifs really just what ifs? Or are there other worlds out there where you did those things? Anyway, that's the many worlds interpretation in a nutshell. I've simplified it a lot.
Ah, sehr faszinierender Gedanke. Denke ich auch so viel drüber nach, ja. Weil es ja auch eben so, ja, so reizvoll ist, irgendwie über dieses Was wäre wenn nachzudenken. Und, ja, geht ja, denke ich, nicht nur mir so. Das Spiel selbst zeigt es ja irgendwie an der Stelle auch, dass es anscheinend auch, bei japanischen Spieleentwicklern durchaus ein Thema sein kann, um etwas Schönes aufzubauen. Gleichzeitig ist es aber natürlich auch Stoff für Bücher, Filme, Serien, weiß der Teufel was. Also, im Kerngedanken geht es, glaube ich, bei dieser ganzen Geschichte aber immer auch so ein ganz klein bisschen darum, dass man sich eben fragt, wenn man sich anders entschieden hätte, wäre es dann besser gewesen? Oder wäre es dann sogar schlechter gewesen oder so? Das ist dann vielleicht so mit der Hauptpunkt, mit dem man sich als Einzelperson dann vielleicht so ein ganz klein bisschen beschäftigt. Könnte ich mir zumindest vorstellen. Aber naja.
Doesn't have to be human actions, though. I just used your actions to make the explanation easier to grasp. The actions of a cat, the flight of a bee, the movement of a microorganism, even fluctuations in air temperature. All these can change history.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on a second here. I let microorganisms slide, but there's no way that air is conscious of anything.
Can you say for sure that you are?
What?
All of your actions are caused by the cells in your brain. If we go down a little further, then you could say all of your actions are the result of atoms or electrons, or smaller particles we haven't even discovered yet. Are those atoms and electrons still you making a decision? At that level, how different are you from the air?
Das ist ein sehr interessanter Gedanke.
I'd say not much. Human existence is just one part of reality. Falling in love is like a tulip blossoming. A tulip blossoming is like a tornado forming in South America. See what I'm saying? The only thing that really matters is the action of the most elementary particles of matter. That's where history happens. That's where universes branch out. Hey, you stopped. Are you done with that shelf?
Oh, no, not yet.
Well, keep looking while I talk. How familiar are you with quantum physics? Never mind, don't answer that. I'll try and keep it simple for you. Let's see. Hey, hand me that box, will you?
This one? Sure. I handed the box I'd been examining over to her. She set it down on the desk and opened the top.
Also... Ah, there's a stuffed lion over there. Perfect. He's part of Felidae, too.
Okay, ich habe so einen gewissen Verdacht. With that, she grabbed the lion and tossed it unceremoniously into the box. She also took a weight and an ink jar and put them in next to the lion.
Alright. Everything's ready.
Ready?
Remember that book in the crew quarters about Schrodinger's cat? It relates to all this stuff I've been talking about. Anyway, come look at the box.
What about looking for the...
This'll only take a minute. Now look.
I shrugged and peered into the box.
What do you see?
Well, there's a stuffed lion.
From now on, that's a cat. A living cat. This is important. Got it?
Yeah, it's a cat meow.
Oh, man. This again?
Sorry. I can't help it.
I find that hard to believe. Ugh, fine. Maybe I can just ignore it.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
Alright, what else do you see?
A weight that's not even a pond, and a jar of ink.
Right. Now the weight is going to be radioactive material, and the jar of ink is full of poisonous gas.
What? I'm getting out of here!
Idiot. It's not really full of gas. This is just hypothetical. Imagine that it's full of gas. So, what's the weight?
Radioactive material.
And the jar of ink?
It's full of poison gas.
Exactly. Good work. Now, there's one other thing you need to know about the jar.
Das ist so süß irgendwie. Aber okay. Ja, erklär bitte weiter.
If it's struck by any of the alpha particles the radioactive material emits, it'll break. These particles are emitted randomly, but there's a 50% chance that one of them will come into contact with the jar over the course of an hour. So let's close the lid. And pretend an hour has passed. Here's the question. Is the cat inside of the box alive or dead? You can't open the box to check. And you can't hit the box. Obviously, you can't shake it either. It's also been soundproofed, so the cat could be howling up a storm in there and you'd never know. Basically, you have no idea what's going on inside the box. Do you remember what happens if the alpha particles hit the jar?
It breaks. Gas fills the box, the cat inhales it, and death will whisk her away.
And what if the jar doesn't break?
The cat lives to tell the tale.
Haha. And what are the chances of either of those things happening?
About 50%.
Uh-huh. So, what's your answer? Is the cat alive or dead?
I can't possibly know.
Then guess. It's not hard. Alive or dead?
It's... Natürlich ist sie noch am Leben. It's alive. The cat is... Pause for dramatic effect. Alive.
Nope. You're wrong.
It's dead?
That's wrong too.
Then, what's the right answer?
The answer is that it's in a state where it is neither dead nor alive.
What? How does that make any sense?
It's an extrapolation of something we see at the atomic level. We don't know if an atom is spinning upward or downward until we measure it. Before it's measured, those two possibilities coexist. But as soon as the measurement is taken, obviously, only one possibility is the truth. That's what's happening with the alpha particles. Since we can't know when they were emitted or where, we only know the probability that they'll impact the jar. Because we can't observe anything that's happening in the box, that becomes the entire system. In other words, the box is like the atom. We don't know how the cat's life or death situation has resolved itself until we look at it. Until we do, it's just a bunch of possibilities. Do you get it? If the cat in the box is possibilities,
then it's both alive and dead.
Right. So, let's open the lid. And when we do, all the possibilities will collapse into a single truth. Meow. What a relief, huh? Looks like the cat's alive.
Okay.
Anyway, that's Schrödinger's cat. The many worlds interpretation is one theory for explaining that weirdness.
So, there's another world out there where this cat died?
Yeah, that's the idea. Looks like that cat tick of yours cleared up.
Yeah. Well, your story was pretty insane.
Insane?
You don't think so? Just the idea of something being alive and dead at the same time. And if the moment the lid is opened determines whether or not the cat's dead, then it's almost like events in the future can determine the past. I mean, the cat doesn't die when you open the lid, so it must have already been dead.
Exactly. You've experienced it, haven't you?
What on earth are you talking about?
Think back. Remember round 2 of the AB game? When you chose betray, what was my vote?
Ally.
But what happened this time?
I chose ally, and you chose betray.
Right. And both times, I put in my vote a full minute before the deadline. When did you push the button?
Right before the deadline.
I see. Well, that makes this a little easier to explain. If you chose betray, then my vote was ally. If you chose ally, then my vote was betray. But I made my choices a whole minute before you made yours. Don't you think that's strange? You do see what I'm saying, don't you?
That my choice in the future altered your action in the past?
Yeah. From your perspective, there's no other way to interpret it.
Now that I thought about it, round 1 had been the same. When I'd chosen ally, Alice had chosen betray. And when I'd chosen betray, she'd done the opposite.
Look at this die. I found it over there. Let me give you one last example.
As she spoke, she tossed the die into the box and quickly shut the lid.
Alright, answer this question. What number is the die on?
Ja, es ist natürlich die 6. It's probably 6.
Okay, I'm going to open the lid. Good job.
Hoppla.
You got it right.
That was just a fluke.
Was it?
Huh?
Let's think about what was going on before I opened the lid. What number was the die on?
6, of course.
Haven't you been paying attention? The die is still a collection of atoms, isn't it? I don't think you can reasonably suggest that it was made of some different kind of matter.
Wait, so you're saying that before you opened the lid, the die was on all the numbers?
Uh-huh. That's one way to look at it, at least.
And then when you opened the lid, it was just one number?
Or it might have become that number when you declared which one it was.
Huh? Wait, what do you mean?
Your choice in the future has an effect on the past.
That's crazy.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. We got a little off topic there, but I think I made my point. Reality separates off into an infinite number of branches for each and every possibility. You and I seem to be able to jump from branch to branch. Of course, our bodies aren't doing the jumping. Our consciousnesses just sort of dive into other versions of ourselves in other worlds.
Whoa. I think I get it now. That's how you knew my name, right? You jumped in from another world. That's how you knew all those other things you shouldn't have known.
Yeah, that's the best I can figure out, at least. Unfortunately, it seems like we don't retain all our memories when we jump. Maybe we only remember particularly important things. I'm not sure how it works. But whatever the reason, it seems to be fairly limited. And often, we don't seem to remember jumping at all. Things will just sort of pop up.
That's why when someone asks us how we know X, all we can think of to say is, I just knew.
Yeah.
What's causing this then? I don't remember ever doing this before, so why would it start now?
If we knew that, I don't think we'd be having so much trouble. It's just...
Just what?
Well, I'm pretty sure it has to do with why we're locked up in here. There's no way this doesn't have something to do with whatever Zero Senior's trying to do. Why would he have left that Schrodinger's cat book in the crew quarters?
You aren't kidding, are you? Maybe this is some sort of huge Schrodinger's cat experiment. And all 9 of us are locked up inside the box, right, meow?
What if you've got it backwards?
Backwards?
We're outside of the box, and the rest of the world is inside.
Then the moment we step out of this place...
Yeah. We might be determining the history of the world outside.
No way. I had 1,000 other questions, but before I could open my mouth to ask them...
Oh, good. There you are. Did something happen? Yes. We found it.
Found what?
What do you mean, what? What else could we find? The bomb! The other antimatter bomb. The number 2 bomb is in the control room.
Ach so? Na gut, klar, doch, ja, gut, ergibt Sinn. Ergibt irgendwo Sinn. Eventuell Sinn. Ja, es kann natürlich nicht im Labor sein, weil wir uns keinen Zugang zum Labor verschafft hatten. Dementsprechend kann es ja nur in den Räumen sein, in denen Zugang besteht. Also wir haben jetzt eine in Crew Quarters, wir haben eine im Garten und wir haben eben, weil das Labor nicht offen ist, eine jetzt hier im Kontrollraum. Es ergibt irgendwie Sinn. Irgendwo musste Dio sie ja platzieren. Okay, alles klar. Wir können jetzt hier weitermachen. Und wäre sicherlich auch super spannend, aber ich würde an der Stelle dann doch wieder eine Pause machen wollen, weil ansonsten kriege ich das alles zeitlich nicht so richtig gebacken. Ist in den letzten Tagen ein bisschen schwierig geworden bei mir, was Zeit und so weiter angeht, deswegen ich gebe mein Bestes, wenigstens hier dieses Projekt einigermaßen regelmäßig weiterhin rauszuhauen und jeden Tag ein Part davon zu veröffentlichen. So, wir haben heute viel Interessantes erfahren. Fai hat uns ziemlich viel erklärt. Das Konzept der Multidimensionen oder der Multiwelten oder so wurde uns ein bisschen näher veranschaulicht. Das Ganze noch in Kombination mit Schrödingers Katze. Und ja, das ist schon so ein bisschen, also da kann man schon drüber nachdenken. Und da kann man schon auch ein bisschen, naja, mal versuchen, seine eigene kleine Existenz zu bewerten oder so. Und man kommt dann wahrscheinlich zumeist zu einem niederschmetternden Ergebnis. Aber, naja, okay. Vielleicht geht es auch nur mir so. Trotz alledem interessant. Und ich hoffe, ihr fandet es auch sehr interessant. Und ja, beim nächsten Mal geht es also weiter. Clover zeigt uns jetzt hier gerade die 3. Bombe. Und dann mal schauen, was den Charakteren jetzt im Folgenden so einfallen wird. Ich sag für den Moment dann aber erstmal wieder Tschö mit Ö. Und hoffentlich bis ganz, ganz bald.